Hello there, and welcome back to our Faith and series. We're looking at faith and Christmas again, talking to people that you might not know as well as we'd like you to. I'm here with Jonathan Lacey. Hello, Jonathan.
Hello.
Hello. Jonathan's our organist. He's on PCC. He's our treasurer. He does an awful lot here at St Wilfrid's, and you see him possibly in his big black robes just up here at our lovely organ, but maybe you don't know much about him. We're about to find out. Thank you for agreeing to do this.
No problem.
No problem. We'll see. I'm going to ask you the same 4 questions I ask everybody in these little series. So the first one is, what is the good news about God, about faith? What I mean by that is, how is your faith making your life better? I hope that it is.
I hope it is too. It's probably quite strange to hear this, but because a lot of people have had conversion experiences and things happen in their life that suddenly their life felt better because they suddenly became Christian.
Some, certainly.
I was extremely lucky because I was brought up going to church from that big.
Yeah.
So for me, it's just always been
there.
I've never ever doubted it.
It's just always been there.
It's always been there. I probably haven't had as many dark times as most people have, and that will be a test when that happens, because it will happen.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just been my comfort blanket to know that I suppose I'm loved all the time, no matter what I do. Someone else is looking after me, and hopefully that will lead me to be a better person, and hopefully other people will see that and want to know God as well.
Yeah. I
don't know whether that's happened to anybody or not, but
well, we'll see what we can do about that. I think that's really helpful for people, though. We focus on, and we get people at the front of church sometimes to tell the stories of their big dramatic moments with God.
And that would be great to have that.
And wouldn't it? And yet there are lots of us that don't, just have, we just always knew this is how it plays out. And I think it's quite affirming for people to hear that that's okay, because of course that's okay.
Some people say, how do you know? Why do you believe? And I'll say, I just know.
Yeah.
Well, what proof? I haven't got any proof at all. I just know. But that's what faith is.
And that's always been enough.
You don't have to prove it, because you just know.
Yeah. No, faith isn't
it's weird.
About proof.
I can't explain it.
No, and I don't think it's a thing that we're comfortable talking about here and working out what is knowing, what is doubting, all of those things. Thank you. And what is the good news about church? That's my second question, everyone. And I guess that means this church, means our lovely organ, but it means the people here and the community. What's been the good news about church for you?
I've belonged to lots of churches over the years, various stages of my life. I've always belonged to a church. I've been involved with this church since the 90s.
Long time now,
yeah. I was in the choir here from about 97, 98. In fact, I rang the bells for a little bit. Okay. And then I kind of spread my wings and played the organ at other churches, but always came back here, played for weddings and funerals, and then eventually I've come back more permanently.
Was it the organ that drew you back here?
I suppose in a way it was, but I knew people here, and it's always nice to know people at a church you're going to. I do feel now particularly very valued here.
Right.
I feel like, I know I'm on the more traditional wing of the church, but I think here we've got it right. I think we can be a happy family. I feel like it is a happy family.
Right.
I've been at churches before where there's been a traditional wing and a more modern wing, and it's been like that, and that has been the case here in the past, and I was here when that was the case, but now I don't think that is.
No, I don't think it is.
I think it works well, and to have the coffin between the services, to get the two parts of the family meeting, and to have the fifth Sunday joint together and the festivals joint together is just perfect.
It's lovely, isn't it? I cherish that here. We don't want to sit here and blow our own trumpet, but the fact that when we have a joint service, people from both services come and enjoy it, I think is a good sign.
Yeah, and we have a mix of music. We have modern music, traditional music. We have a fair share of both.
Yeah.
So that, I'm not a massive fan of modern music, but I appreciate it and I'm happy to play it. I really don't mind playing it at all. I won't be waving my arms around or running up and down the church with a banner, but I will happily play it.
And we're very glad that you do. Yeah. Okay. So church has been a happy family, a place to express I guess your faith often is wrapped up with the music, with choir, with the organ and that, but to flex and be out of your comfort zone as well, it sounds like. Yeah. And we were talking just before we started recording about how your approach and how you've sat at church has changed over the last few years. especially with regards to inclusive church that we've joined this year.
Mm.
That's been an interesting journey.
It does, because I was not a massive fan of being inclusive because I thought we were anyway.
Yeah, well, I would say you were a big fan of being inclusive, but not that we
because
had to join
I thought we were
an
I thought that was
organisation
just a
and
box
put a
ticking
label on it.
exercise, yeah.
Of course we're inclusive.
And I thought, I don't really want to belong to a church that isn't inclusive, because if anywhere's got to be inclusive, it's a church.
Right.
However, I would never have voted against it, because
Of course we
we were
want to be
voting for
inclusive.
something we already were, in my opinion. Now that we are, and I see things like the welcome mat that is
Right.
now comfortable for people with dementia coming into church, I think actually, yes, we do need to learn lots of things about how we're not welcoming to certain people who
And do better.
we don't understand.
Yeah.
And do better.
It's good. If you haven't seen our lovely new welcome mat, it is big and blue and yellow, has our logo on it. It's glorious. Come down and see it, and you'll be made welcome.
It is a true welcome.
Isn't it? It's a statement.
It is. It's
Great. Lots to unpack there. We'll come back to that one other time, perhaps. My third question for everyone that we're trying to speak more about is, what's the good news about work? I guess to unpack, how has faith impacted your work? And if people don't know, you run your own business in fashion industry with garments and ticketing and labels and things like that. So running and owning your own business. How do you do that as a Christian? How does the church help and not help?
Yeah, that's quite a challenge, really, because you've got your own Christian beliefs about how people should be treated honestly and fairly. Then you've got the law, which in this country, a lot of the law is based on Christian values, so that's good. We look in that respect. However, more recently, the law, in my opinion, certain employment laws, gone more towards the employee, and I guess that is to protect them from unscrupulous employers, which I hope we're not. I personally am not. However, you've got your Christian values, you've got the law and how you've got to run your business, but then you've got your need to make money.
Otherwise, it can't continue as a business,
and all your employees will lose their
won't have a job.
Yeah.
You won't be paying tax, which all of that stuff.
Yeah, you've got these three things to try and balance, and it's difficult. And there are a lot of opportunities to run the business with, like, we import a lot from the Far East. Suppliers suggest undervaluing goods to pay less tax. My business partner is also a Christian, who was like, absolutely no way we're ever going to do that.
So you have to use your Christian sense of morals.
Yeah.
Affects day-to-day business decisions.
And I think the church can vilify business people quite often.
Yep.
We're seen as being money makers and not interested in
people. It's a grubby set of affairs, yeah.
But I suggest, probably if you look around this church, a lot of the monies that's been raised for
all these stained glass windows have got a little bit at the bottom of some local businessman who wanted to.
I think the lectern has.
Yes, it does.
Edwin.
Yes, it does.
Edwin Woodhouse, is it?
Yep.
Whoever. So yeah, I think we should.
The church wouldn't be here without business.
No.
And business is good, would you say?
As in now, or generally?
Business in general. It's a good thing.
It's a good thing, yeah. Yeah, it is a good thing.
But it needs doing well.
It does need doing well.
I think it's a good thing. I used to talk to a friend who's in banking. Like, should I be in banking? And like, I don't know. It sounds like a complicated business, but I'm glad there are good people in it. So I'd rather you were running a business than some other people. And the church hasn't always helped. How can the church help moving forward? What can we be doing here to help people who are in business, who are making decisions?
Well, I think just that. I think just talking about it, just making us feel like we are valued, that we do have a role to play, and that we're not just people that will write the odd check.
Okay.
That we actually do need help, because times at the moment are hard for businesses. The economy's not good. The budget wasn't good, but in my opinion, for us. So we need help and prayers, because it's difficult, and it's been difficult for quite a few years. COVID hit us badly. It's not been good at all. Brexit didn't do us any favours.
Whole other set of interviews there.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we need help and prayers as much as anybody else, really.
A space to talk and to be remembered, and to be inclusive, I guess.
Yeah.
Inclusive church. Even business owners are welcome here.
I mean, look at the beer festival. We raised lots of money, lots of sponsorships.
That's one of your other roles here as that licensee. Yeah, that was a real interaction of faith, of the local community, of businesses doing a good thing.
And a lady said to me yesterday, I won't mention any names, but she said to me Saturday at the dementia clinic, that the person she asked to sponsor, who's a bit local business, got loads of people going to them because they'd sponsored this beer festival.
Oh, great.
And my hope for that is that those people will see the connection with church, and maybe they will come to this church one day, or to another church. It doesn't have to be this church.
Yep.
I just hope that that will happen. If just one person does that,
Yeah, joining things up is good for us all. Okay, brilliant. We should draw this to a close, but my last question in this series then is what's the good news about Christmas? A busy season for church organists. Where's your joy at this time of year?
My joy, I mean, we do well in this church for getting the bums on seats, but my joy is the carol services, to see so many people and to actually be able to hear which verse I'm on in the carols, because I can hear everyone singing.
Oh, it's lovely.
Rather than just guessing. It's absolutely brilliant to see so many kids in here. It's just fantastic. But I also value the memorial carol service.
Yeah, that's this coming Tuesday.
Tomorrow.
It will have been a couple of weeks ago when you see this.
I don't. When those services were first brought out, I thought no one's going to be interested in those. But actually,
miserable affairs. Yeah.
I thought no one's going to be interested in a quiet, kind of calm Christmas. But actually, they really are needed.
It's one of the most important things we do all year. Yeah.
I think it's great. I think it's brilliant that we're offering people another way of celebrating the birth. But I also think people need to understand the Easter connection, and I just wish we do get a lot of people at Easter as well. But
we do. This is a particular time of year where it's helpful, though. And what I love and appreciate here is that we can bring some of the wider riches of our Christian heritage, Anglican heritage, some of those more somber hymns, and actually they're really helpful for people having a tough time.
Yeah.
So I appreciate that as well. And Evensong has been a treat, has it not, the last couple of years? We'll keep doing that.
Absolutely wonderful.
Lovely. So broadly, you like this time of year? You're happy to be busy making music?
I particularly like Advent, actually. I've always liked Advent, the preparation. I hate it in Advent when you see people have got the trees up and, I better not say that because I see that. But early on in Advent, I love it. I love the hymns. I love the words. A lot of the hymns are actually based on the second coming, not the first coming as well. And I think some good thinking,
some good theology.
Yeah, absolutely. Good. Love it.
So you're not pro. I think that's a nice way to end. You're not necessarily pro the enormous Christmas tree as early as we have it up, but happy to be in a church that has different views on this.
Yeah,
we're all happy to be a happy family together.
And we have a carol service tomorrow, so it should be up early for that.
It should. It needs to be. Yeah, brilliant.
Yeah.
Thank you ever so much.
No
if you've got more questions for Jonathan, if any of that was interesting, then he's here most Sundays. And if you would like to come and watch him play, he's always happy to have people lingering behind him after the service. Come and see what the magic is, especially kids, church organists. We need more of them, right?
We do.
So come and watch. Come and have a go. Thank you ever so much. We'll see you next time.